listen.
Morning. How you doing? I don't think I met you.
No, I think I met my other one. This is
your other
Rachel.
daughter. Yes. Okay,
Yes.
cool beans. So, rules for reintroduction: no touch, no talk, no eye contact in the beginning, right? Because of course you guys are excited. He's excited. When you get that excited energy together, you get chaos, right? So, we want him to understand that everything we've been working on with him controlling his impulses, being able to stay calm, now transfers to you guys, right? So you're gonna come, and he's gonna be excited. I expect that, it happens every time I bring a dog home because obviously he knows he's coming home, right? Now, also, a lot of the behaviors that he has learned to associate with you guys.
Yep. Just put him in his crate for a minute.
Yeah.
Just so he doesn't get Max distracted.
Yeah, no problem. Actually,
Okay.
that.
Or do you want me to leave him out?
So you can put him in his crate, but then he can come out once we get inside.
Perfect. Yeah, just put him in his crate for a few minutes, sweetie.
Yeah, and then so a lot of some of the behaviors that he's learned to associate with you guys are gonna start coming out. So that's where you get to see me actually correct some of those behaviors in real time. So that way you guys can, again, see it, because I know you probably see it in the videos, but sometimes the videos doesn't translate to real life, right? Because the behaviors that you get here, I don't get fully with me, right? So we'll get to see some of that in real time so you guys can learn how to correct it. So that way, obviously, he can maintain this training, going forward. So
excellent. Will you video all this that you're telling us too? Or do
yeah. No, I'm
so
video
then,
everything.
like, if my wife or my other daughter
Yes.
is not here, Alyssa's coming back from a weekend away, but
Okay.
and my other daughter's still at college. So then
Yes.
that helps us
Absolutely.
make sure
Absolutely.
it translates to the girls and they
Yes,
don't mess
sir.
it up.
Absolutely. Actually, I'll be putting this on my my YouTube channel.
Fabulous.
So that way you guys have access to it at all
Fabulous.
times. Yep. Cool. So let's get this guy out, and then we can
Excited to see him?
get the party started. Well,
Uh-oh, he's staying in the car.
Okay. So the first thing you're going to see me do, right? As a matter of fact, if you want to, that's his things there. Yeah, you can take his things in. He tore his paper bag up. I set it on top of the cage.
Sure.
And he shredded it the first night.
That surprised me.
Yeah. So the first thing you're going to see me do before I even take him out the car, right? Because how you start is how you end, right? So you see he's already excited. So I have to calm his brain down before I even take him out the cage. Because if I allow him to come out the cage in an excited state of mind, as soon as I put him on the ground, that's what's going to carry through, right?
Look at him, he's not even running.
Well, yeah, so when I open the cage, he's probably going to try to run out, but you're going to see me politely close the cage, tell him no, and I'm going to wait for him to sit like he's doing now, then I'm going to open the cage again. Because the psychology behind that is, in order for you to proceed forward with anything that you want to do, because he wants to come out the cage, right? You have to be calm first. So that translates to the door. So that way he's not pulling you guys out the door, or that way he's not, when you open the door, he doesn't just rush out the door, right? So the same concept we're doing here applies to any doorway or any threshold in the house. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Yes, sir.
You like them?
Nope. I got to push it back some so I can open the cage. Yes, good boy. Max, sit. Yes, good boy. Come. Good boy. That's a good boy, Max. That's a good boy, Max. Okay. So again, that process you just saw me do, right, applies. That is the foundation of anything you do, right? What I tell people is, a lot of the time we do it and don't know it, right? Because we're doing it because we love our dog. We foster a lot of the behaviors that we don't want in the dog, right? So even when the dog is doing something we don't want him to do, we give him love and affection, right? And we're doing it out of empathy, so I understand why we do it. But then we have to understand dogs don't really work out of empathy at a high level like we do, right? They have it, but not nearly as much as we do, right? So what we have to start learning is, I put it to you like this. In order for them to get smarter, we have to get dumber.
Makes sense.
Right?
Okay.
Because they're a lesser being, right? So they experience some of the same emotions and feelings and things that we do, just not nearly as complex as we are. So when we put so much human in them, it makes them unstable, right? So a lot of the part, and you know, you guys heard it in the video, a lot of what I was doing is actually rebooting his system back to being a dog, because then it makes it easier to put the obedience on it, right? So now the excitement is coming out.
He just noticed us.
Exactly, right? Which is what I was waiting on. And it's okay. It's good to be excited. We're not mad at him for being excited. But what he has to understand is his behavior still has to be contained even in his excitement, right? So now what I'm going to do is just kind of reel his brain back in to get him back in what I call working mode, right? So Max, come. Yes, good boy. Place. Sit. That's a good boy. Okay. So now we're going to start making our way to the door.
Okay.
And in between now and then, you're just going to kind of see me correct him and kind of, you know, get his brain back in control. Max, come. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. Heel. Okay, yes. So we'll follow you guys inside. Yes, good boy.
Right behind you, honey.
So, same concept here. As we go in the door, you're probably going to see him try to pull me in the door, right? So I'm not going to allow him to do that, because if I allow him to do it here, then it starts to translate to everything else. So in the beginning, you're going to have to do a lot of micromanaging until, of course, he gets to the point where it becomes so ingrained, it becomes second nature. He'll literally get to the door and he'll automatically sit down. You won't even have to tell him to do it, right? But it takes, you know, repetition, time. Max, yes, come on, good boy. Right there, sit. Hey. Max, yes, good boy, yes. Good boy, there we go, Max, good boy. Heel. Max, sit. Okay. So now in moments like this, right, he hears the dog barking, he's starting to smell the house, right? So his excitement levels are going up. So this is where the tactile communication comes in, because sometimes when his excitement is so high, it's just like us. Like some of our senses kind of go dead, right? So his hearing right now is not his best sense. So I'm going to use another sense, which is touch, right? Which is going to help me reboot his brain so I can get his hearing, so I can so I can use my voice more, right? Does that make sense? How?
Yeah, you want to get his attention.
Exactly. Now you can also do that with the leash, right? Because that's still a form of tactile communication. So you'll see me kind of tap the leash like that. So it's the same thing, but this is where bigger dogs, it's much easier to do with the leash, right? Because they have more force and you can kind of use their force against them. With a smaller dog, you'll see what he does. He gets up on his 2 feet. So then that kind of takes away some of my leverage. So now that's when I go to the extra tactile touch. I might touch him on his butt, right? So now you see he knows, okay, that means put my butt on the ground. And normally what he does, once he feels that touch, he looks up, which means, oh, I'm sorry, what is it that you want, right? Yes, good boy. Sit. Max, sit. Yes, good boy. Heel. Okay. All right. Gotta take your shoes off, babe. You got your toes done, right?
No.
Oh, you can leave them on if you'd like. It's not a problem. Whatever you feel more comfortable with.
No,
You're not
that's
worried.
fine. I understand why.
So, any questions so far? Because I'll keep talking. So, at any point, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to interrupt. And you know,
We've kind of gone through this with when he came back home and when our last one did. So I know everyone's a little bit different, but
Yeah.
this is all familiar.
Okay, absolutely. So, again, nothing wrong with being excited, but see, this translates to when people come over the house, right? We don't want him bouncing and jumping all over people, so he has to learn how to contain himself, right? So now what I'm gonna do is correct him in this moment, right? So I'm actually going to allow him to jump on you just to correct him. So I'm allowing him to fail in a controlled environment, right? Because my goal is to actually correct him in this moment.
I'm watching.
Let him come see you.
Yeah. So now when he jumps on you, don't do anything. Don't touch, don't say anything, because I'm just gonna correct him just so you guys can see how I do it. So that way you can duplicate it when, other people come over, right? So, all right, let's see what he does. Oh, you finished? There we go. Nope.
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 Who's responsibility?
Yeah.
Oh, Murphy's going nuts.
So, okay, cool. So now that he's decided that he doesn't want to jump on you guys anymore, right? What we can do is take it to the next thing. We can actually let Murphy out. And then, based on how the interaction is, we'll go from there.
They're gonna attack each other. You wanna go get Murph?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll show you guys how to,
So should we just let him
Just
out?
let him out.
Okay.
Yeah, just let him
Alright.
out.
So just let Murph out, honey.
Yeah.
Can I get you guys anything?
Oh, I'm good.
Fine,
You
thank
want
you.
something back?
Coffee, water,
Hey,
snacks?
Fine,
Sit.
thank you.
Max. Hey, shh. Yes, good boy. Shh. So now, moments like this, right? This is actually the perfect moment to do obedience.
Murph, nobody else.
When they are the most excited, this is the perfect moment to test what you've done, right? Hey, so first thing I gotta do is correct him, right? So I'll show you how we do that. Hey, shh. Right? So once we get one under control, shh. Good boy. There we go. Right? And all you're seeing, I'm not doing anything forceful. All I'm literally doing is what I call the assertive tap on the shoulder, right? Shh. Right? That assertive tap on the shoulder is literally the equivalent, of me.
But at least
Good
he's
boy.
not jumping, which is good.
Hey, but see,
Right.
that's what I want to show you guys, right? The assertive tap on the shoulder is literally the equivalent of me. So I'll put it to you like this. Let's say you were hyper-focused on something, right? You were working on a computer,
No.
children calling you, and again, your senses, because you're so focused here, your hearing has gone to your eyesight, right? So you're tuning them out, not on purpose, it's just because you're hyper-focused on what you're doing. So finally, what's your name again? I'm sorry. Rachel. So finally, Rachel comes and says, Dad, I'm calling you, right? And the first thing you do is like, oh, I'm sorry. I was just focused on this, right? So it's the same thing here. So that tap is saying, hey, I'm talking to you, right? And once I get their attention, then I can give them direction. What most people do is they start yelling louder, right? That's more chaotic. That actually makes them even more anxious and frantic, right? So the first thing I'm always gonna do is, hey, shh, yes, good boy. Now all I'm doing with him is asking him for space, right? Hey, yes, good boy. There we go, good boy, right? So all I'm doing is asking him, hey, give me a little space. We're gonna let you play, right? But just give me a little space so I can control him, right? Because he's the older dog, so we have to expect a little bit more out of him. Hey, yes, good boy, right? Good boy, right? Nope. Good boy, right? So he's the older dog, so we have to expect a little bit more out of him, right? So now that we got him under control, right, Max? Hey, Max, sit. Right there. Yes, sit. Good boy. Yes. Max? Yes, good boy. So But you see, the thing is, right? Sometimes it's hard for me to explain.
No, I get it. Totally.
It's the energy that I'm giving him, right? Because we got to remember, dogs, we apply behaviors to words. Dogs don't understand words, right? So for me, I'm saying no, I'm saying but see, these are all just tonal things that breaks the dog's focus. It's not necessarily the word in itself. It's saying, hey, it's like a startled, you see what I mean?
Yeah, you can use any word, but
It's just breaking that concentration, right? So now once I have that, then I can give some type of visual, hey, stop, right? Because now I'm taking my space back, as opposed to what most people do. They allow the dog to get up on them, and then as the dog is jumping on them, they start moving back. You're submitting your space to the dog. So all they're gonna keep doing is taking your space. So as opposed to me stepping back, I step forward. Give me my space. I'm drawing my line in the sand, right? And then they understand, oh, I know what that means. Let me relax, right? So I'm just giving the energy that I want him to do, right? So any questions on that? No? Okay. So now, right, being that they're both calm, this is when we can start interacting with him a little bit more, right? So what we're going to allow him to do is come to y'all. But here's what he has to do. He has to be calm, right? So he's doing that, you correct him.
What do I say?
You give him a slight nope, right? So don't push, right? Now I'm going to show you the difference, right? You ready? I'm going to show you the difference, right? This is please. This is stop. You feel the difference?
So you gotta give them a little tap, sweet.
Yeah.
Please.
No. You don't want please. Please is begging, right? You don't want to beg. Hey, shh. Right? Please is begging, right? Imagine someone you didn't know ran up on you to hug you. Would you say, please? Or would you say, hey, stop?
Stop.
Exactly, right? So, hey, shh.
Merv?
So think about that, right? He's encroaching your space, right? You didn't give him permission. Now, you may be okay with that, right? I like when dogs give me love too, but I like it when I ask them to give me love, not when they decide that they're gonna come into my space and take my space, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, the reason why that's important, right? The reason why that's important is because controlling this behavior, right? He has to understand that everything he does and doesn't do is because you guys said he can do it and he can't do it. The moment you allow him to start making his own decisions, he's gonna carry that over, right? He's an opportunistic dog, right? He's gonna take every opportunity you give him to misbehave, right? So you can't, hey, shh, right? So again, it's gonna require a lot of micromanaging in the beginning until his brain really understands what it means to calm, right? So, Max.
We're not to his toy box.
Yeah. So now this goes to the next thing, right?
I have to go.
This is why it's good to keep a leash on him in the beginning. So I actually recommend you keep this leash on him in the beginning. Max, come on, good boy. Yes, right? Because that makes it easier to reel him back in. So now what we're gonna do, we kind of allowed him to, get the excitement out. So now it's, okay, let's get back to work, right? So Max, hey, sit. Yes, there we go, good boy. So now that goes into the next and last thing, unless you guys have any questions. Holding him accountable, right? What does that look like? That looks like I just asked him to sit, he got up. Nope, I asked you to sit, right? It's that micromanaging, but what this builds is his understanding of it doesn't matter what's going on out there in the world. My owner asked me to sit, right? which means I don't care if a car is coming, I don't care if it's a dog, I don't care if it's a squirrel, it doesn't matter. My owner, the person I care about the most, asked me to do something, right? So that's why, even though it seems so, what's the word I'm looking for? Almost unimportant, but it's this that carries over to out there, right? When we don't have control of the environment, when we can't predict when a person is coming, or anything that we don't control, we can't predict. In here, we can control it a little bit, or well, a lot more. But out there is when it really counts. But if we don't do it in here, he's for sure not going to do it out there. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's so important to where when I say sit, that means keep your butt on the ground until I ask you to do something else, right? Yeah. Any questions?
No, he seems fabulous. What should we do in terms of bathroom so that we don't have accidents?
Yeah, so my schedule with him, right? Typically anywhere between the latest 7 o'clock.
Yeah, that's about when we usually run out.
Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
yeah. So anywhere between 6 and 7, he's going outside to use the bathroom.
Great.
Now, it's going to be slight. Well, no, it can be the same because a lot of the training that I was doing, as you saw in the video, I was using kibble to train him with, right? So I'm actually going to recommend you guys still do that.
Okay.
Because what that's going to do, that's going to build, one, more respect between you guys. That's going to build more value in you. So at the same time you normally feed. So normally what I do, I let him out use the bathroom. We stay out 20, 30 minutes or something like that. Bring him back in. We do some training, right? Even if I only do 5 minutes, right? So let's say I do 15 reps of sit, 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 and he still has food left. At that point, we've worked a little bit. You can give him the rest of the food, right?
So that's what we do for breakfast.
Yes,
Got
yes. And then he goes back outside after that again, right? Just to use the bathroom. Now, again, I'm a little different because, I have dogs. So you guys can kind of figure that balance out because I know you guys probably have to go, do other things. But typically he goes back outside again to use the bathroom.
After that?
After that, yeah.
Okay.
Because I want him to have their freedom to get whatever he needs to get out.
Okay.
Right? Now, the other side of that, there's the pee pads as well. So
did you use pee pads with them?
I did in the beginning.
Okay.
I did in the beginning. I think I may have done a video. I can't remember in the beginning.
I didn't see any.
Okay. In the beginning, when I initially bring a dog home, I'll use a pee pad in the beginning, but the goal ultimately is to get them outside. So I think I've only used it like once or twice with him, but it's still applicable because again, if you guys are gone, then you can set up an area to where if you have like his kennel,
mm-hmm.
you can set up like a little fence around the kennel, put the pee pads in there, and then he'll use the pee pads.
Oh, okay.
So that would be the alternative to not being able to let him out if you guys are gone or something like that. Yeah. So does that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's typically how that works. Now, normally because of the potty training, I don't feed anything after 12, right? So he'll get his second meal of the day around lunchtime. So, and it's the same concept. We train with the food. Then if we're finished training, he has food left, I'll just let him eat the rest of the food. So after that, he gets no more food because obviously the longer we feed him throughout the day, the more food he has to get out, overnight. So that's how I cut down his need to have to use the bathroom overnight, which almost immediately cuts out any using the bathroom, while we're sleeping or something like that, or having to take him out 12:30, 1 o'clock at night, which is not fun for anybody,
right?
So that's typically how I work that schedule. So about 3 to 4 o'clock is the last time he gets water. So that's typically how I work that. 12, 1 o'clock latest, food, 3, 4 o'clock latest, water. So that's how I work that system.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you have any luck with the bell or not really?
Yeah, we started that, but again, because it took him so long just to kind of adjust to the new environment, we didn't get a chance to really implement that as much as I wanted to. But is actually a very simple system, right? So anytime we're about to go outside, I literally just have him ring the bell. I would literally take his paw
and hit it.
ring the bell,
Okay.
immediately go outside.
That's what we did with him for the
Yeah.
first couple weeks after he got home
Yep.
because they trained him to do that.
Okay.
But then we did it
Yeah.
here, and now he'll always do
Yeah,
what he has to
always
go on.
go. Yeah. So anytime he's about to go outside, take him
about-
outside. Yeah.
Okay.
And he's a smart dog.
Can I say hi?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, exactly. There you go.
Hi, now say hi.
Yeah, now let that go. Yeah.
I missed you. Yes, you two aren't gonna leave each other all day, are you? No. 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 Don't
Oh,
come.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now you two can play.
Yes, sir.
Amazing. Anything else I need to know?
No, if you guys don't have any questions, no.
Is it okay if you send me that just so I can have
Yeah,
my
yeah,
wife
yeah.
and daughter watch it?
Yeah, for sure. I'll send
You can
it.
send it in the chat.
Well, no, so because this is going to be so long, what I'm
Okay.
going to do, I'm going to immediately upload it to my YouTube.
Okay.
And as soon as it uploads on my YouTube, then I'll send you guys the link. Because
Awesome.
that's the easiest way, because
Totally.
if I did it I would have to chop it in 3 or 4 pieces. And then, it just makes the
No, it
process
makes it
faster.
easier.
Yeah.
Totally.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Amazing.
Yes, sir.
Fabulous. Can't thank you enough.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And remember, you guys do have 3 follow-up sessions.
Oh, okay.
So, it's going to be a moment where it's going to be like, okay, what's going on here? What do I do? And typically, I say give yourself about a week to 2 weeks to work the new system. And then after that, we can start talking about, okay, what's next?
Do we do those like over Zoom? Do we do them in person?
No, we're doing it in person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
I do it in
Okay.
person, yes, sir.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
so much.
No.
You know better than that.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Yes, sir. Yes,